This is Brother Teacher Reginald. I would like to talk to you about something that is personal. Some people uh, may not see this right off, but I want you to bear with me for a moment. And it's about standing your ground as a man or woman, person, staying your purpose, your course in life, and not allowing anyone else to divert you from that particular stance or position. In my life, as I was growing up as a child, uh, as most of us more than likely do, we have a vivid imagination. And outside of that vivid imagination, we have realistic uh, goals, dreams, aspirations. And we're entitled to those. They are uniquely designed for us. Hopes, dreams, desires. Some might be a little far off as it relates to reality and achieving those things, but many of those things are well within our reach as it relates to the world in which we live in and gaining material things. For example, uh, you said, one day I'm going to own a house. That's attainable. Many people have proven that. Even you that are watching me. Or I want to get my first car, learn how to drive, get my temporary license and then my regular license and get me my first car. Many of us have achieved that. I want to settle down one day and get married, have a child or two. I want to have that particular dream job where I make a very decent uh, salary and living in order to provide for my family. I want to even go further than that and own my own business. These things are within our reach if we really are sincere. Now, I don't want it to seem as though I'm getting off the path because you don't really know what the path is. I have not disclosed that as of yet. What I'm trying to say is this: all of the things that we desire in life, we should shoot for them and never ever allow anyone to deter us, get in our way, and stop us from achieving those very things that we are seeking. I didn't know quite how I was going to approach this particular video. I'm sitting in my office in my store. Someone may walk in and they may not, but it's okay. I want you to really, really grasp hold of this. How important you as the person really are. I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm 59 years old. In a few months, I'll be 60. When I was a child, I dreamed. Dreamed about a family, a home, a job, occupation, having my own business. And I've done that. It hasn't been easy. But what a worth is actually easy in life. It's not supposed to be. It's just something that we reach for, regardless of how we get there and the experiences and the pitfalls or the obstacles that we are faced with on our way to accomplish those things. You're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to say that again. But I'm just your fellow man, your fellow human being, speaking to people that are common just like I am. And I've said in videos that I've done in time past, I don't need an orchestra behind me. I'm talking to real people, from one real individual to another, and many, many others. So I began to talk about uh, staying your course, standing your ground, believing in you and believing in your dream and how important it is for you to not let anyone interfere with those things that you want to achieve in your life, your personal life. My methodology may not be like the next man in how I deliver this message, but this message is my message to you. When you believe something, ladies and gentlemen, don't let anyone change what you believe until you change what you believe. Stand on your square. Stand firmly, both feet on the ground, in your convictions, whatever they are. Your likes and your dislikes are yours. It is not to say that people cannot influence you in a positive way. It is not to say that people cannot give you encouragement and enlightenment and even some aid along the way. But whatever your core values are, they're the things, they're the glue that hold you together. They belong to you. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't be wrong. You most definitely can be wrong. You can be misguided and misinformed about some things in your life, and oftentimes many things. But such as you have and wherever you are, it is just simply where you are at that point in time. With that said, I want you to continue to learn about life and learn about yourself and how you can better yourself and be the best you that you can possibly be. Never just blanket think that, hey, I've got it all together. I know it all. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. I believe that everyone has some truth or something that can benefit our lives, short or long term. Something that can benefit you from a social standpoint, from a uh, economical standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, from a health and wellness standpoint. Someone knows more than you and I. But again, where you stand right now, until that someone or that information comes along and strikes you, stand where you are. I meant what I just said. And I hope that you can separate the way in which I display my message to you today. Separate it from what you might say, from what may appear to others as being a riddle, but it's really not. It's just me expressing myself to you. Now, I want to give you a situation. There's someone that I knew quite a while ago. Uh, they began to change. They were one particular way when we first met. They knew where I stood as a man, as a person, and I knew where they were. I'm not talking down on them as I'm speaking to you now. I'm just stating some facts, trying to be as general as possible. But this individual was in a relationship with myself for quite a while. And again, as I said, they knew what my stance was concerning a lot of things. I have a certain diet, number one. I don't indulge in alcoholic beverages, and I don't smoke, and I don't drink, and I don't do other things that are detrimental to my health. I have a firm conviction in there being a God, a creator. That's my stance. For example, they knew these things. They lived with me in my home. And for the most part, they never interfered with those things, the position that I held. And they never violated those things openly, but I saw them over a period of time as we were together. I saw them change. I saw subtle changes. I did not openly speak out about it, somewhat in denial, I guess you can say. But I saw the changes. And I did say they were subtle, hoping that maybe it wasn't real, hoping that it would go away. But over a period of time, they grew in complexity, they grew in frustration because they were beginning to affect me in a negative way. They're in my home, and I began to see things occurring in my home. Alcohol entering my home, and it was uncomfortable. I may not be God's greatest gift to anyone, but I am God's greatest gift to me. And I want you to be the greatest gift that God has given you to yourself. And what I mean by that statement is this: don't compromise who you are. Never ever change because someone else doesn't respect your position and your stance, especially when it is your conviction. It's sacred to you, as are mine to me. And sometimes you find yourself sitting alone when you can get time in this busy world in which we live. You find yourself sitting alone, asking yourself the question: am I wrong in my position, or should I compromise any aspect of my position and my stance to sort of appease this individual? I'm saying to you today, firmly, no. Does it hurt? Yes. Why does it hurt? It hurts because some of us are further along than others in life and in the world. It's not that you're bragging, not that we are bragging, not that you're being arrogant, and not that you are picking an argument. It's just simply the world in which we live. Sometimes we get together with people that are not really matches for us. Sometimes we go through situations that are just for a season. But those situations are to make us better. They should at least make us better. Better human beings. If we can endure those situations. Some people succumb to them and give up. And they resort to all manner of bad choices. They turn to alcoholism, drugs of various sorts, abusing their bodies, saying things and changing who they are, things that they had never done before, all trying to deal with the complexity again of that situation or those situations. But I'm going to say to you again, stand. Stay your course. Stand firmly on your position and your conviction, because it is you. That is the thing that makes it yours. Don't compromise who you are and lower your standards just to make someone else who's not on your level comfortable. That's it in a nutshell. And as I said, it hurts. Because sometimes those dreams that I talked about earlier as a child don't always end up the way that we would have expected them to. They end up as being just simply a dream that has not manifested into reality. Oftentimes, just simply a nightmare. So, as I began to talk about this person, I started seeing alcohol beverage in my home, evidence of drinking, and then I made note of it. And then I actually spoke out about it, just casually. I'm told I do what I want to do. I'm grown. I said, but this was not our original agreement. And then I'm told by this individual, hey, stop being so stressed. Maybe you need to take a drink. Note what I just said. Maybe I need to take a drink. What you're really saying in essence is maybe I need to digress. Maybe I need to come down to your level. And don't forget what I just told you, ladies and gentlemen. Stand your ground and stay your course, your purpose in life. I wasn't going to do that. And as I'm standing here right now or sitting here speaking to you, I've never changed my position or my stance. And I'm going to say again, it hurt. You know why? Because I thought that my relationship was, as many of us do think or believe, is going to be an ideal situation. We don't know oftentimes who we're picking and choosing when we get together with someone in our lives. Now, this doesn't have to be in a personal relationship. It could be in a friendship as well. But over a period of time, back and forth with the same situation in my home, this individual did not relent. They continued to do what they were doing. As a matter of fact, it escalated. They put me in some very compromising positions. And it hurt. But you know what? Even through the pain, I realized that there were great lessons learned. And I'm so happy and I'm so thankful for the lessons. Even through the pain. The pain was necessary. Because the pain was necessary for me to see where I was in my life, in my maturity, and in my development as a man. And I learned some very, very valuable lessons. And you will too. Yes, I did learn some very valuable lessons. And one of those lessons was this, and I knew this way before that experience that I had in my life. And that is just simply this: life was never intended to ever be easy and free of challenges. It was never intended to be free of conflict. It was never intended to be free of disagreements and hurdles, obstacles, adversity. It's never intended to be that way. Now, since it does contain all of those things as we go through this human condition, it's not those situations that we encounter in life that are bad. As I said, they're supposed to happen. It's funny that we only welcome the things that are good in our lives and we frown on the bad things. But did you not know that in order to keep a balance, we must have both? It's all about character building. And as I said earlier, I learned a great deal. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful for those experiences. I don't hate anyone, but I still will say, as I went through those things of the purging of who I was or thought I was up until that point, only to find that I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. I wasn't where I was mentally uh, in a good place. I thought I was pretty firm in my stance and my position, but I was rocked a little bit. My world was rocked a little bit. Actually, more than that. I'm just being kind. But I want to tell you before I leave, I just touched on a personal relationship that I experienced with you. I just talked about it. And as far as I'm really going to go. But this happens in friendship situations, it happens in business as well. But the principle, the concept is still the same. Stand your ground. What you believe in, don't let anyone change what you believe in. If there's any change, and we all do have to change in some capacity in our lives to be a better us, you make the change. People can influence you in a positive way. People can give you good information. People can be a great example in front of you. It is at those times of observation that you say, hey, I'm going to grab some of that. I could use that. It can make me stronger. Now I know how to navigate a little bit better in this place we call life in the world because of the things that that individual said or the way in which they carry themselves. I've learned some valuable lessons from people in the world, family, friends, associates, people I didn't even know, mentors. Don't stop learning, ladies and gentlemen. But whatever you do, never give up. We only have one shot at this thing called life. It's precious. It's not promised to us what tomorrow is going to bring. I'm sitting here speaking with you right now, and I love all of you all. I could be gone tomorrow. I could be gone within the hour. None of us know. We don't know what we don't know. We can't measure that. All we can do and should do is walk as best as we can in the time that's allotted to us right now. But whatever we do, we must continue to stand. Stand on what we firmly believe in. And don't let anyone change that. Because if that individual or those individuals want us to change, then it means that they have power and control over us. Don't let anyone take power from you. Don't let them take your individuality from you, your independence from you. If you believe a certain way from a religious or spiritual standpoint, that's your belief. It's yours. And it can't be coveted by anyone else. It can't be taken away by anyone else. Stand on it. So, am I still going through some struggles in my life? Yes, I am. Who isn't? On some level. From the wealthiest individual in the world to the pauper, the poorest person. We are all going through the trials of life, the human condition. Some have more burdens on their shoulders, some have less. But we all have burdens that we have to bear from day to day. The most important thing in that respect is to never let those burdens overcome you. Stay true to yourself, and you are going to make this journey okay. And you will find out if you stick to it, if you stick to your beliefs, you will find out that all of the hardships, all of the adversity that you went through was actually worth it because it made you a better man and a better woman. So That was my way of expressing and explaining a particular situation that I went through in my life without going too much in detail, because your personal life is yours. I don't believe that anyone should be airing specific details about their personal lives, especially when it could potentially harm others. Don't believe that. All I'm going to say today is this: we are all the human family, irrespective of what your race, color, creed is, your sexual orientation. We have to learn how to love one another. Even one another's imperfections, we have to learn to accept that that is where some of us are. And we're not always necessarily paired together uh, appropriately, for lack of a better word. We don't always fit. Sometimes we pick people to be our partners in business, socially, in an intimate relationship, that are not the right fit, because we're looking at the wrong things, and oftentimes because we just simply don't know what the right thing is. This wasn't one of my better videos, but trust and believe the way in which I expressed this to you today in this particular hour. It's not scripted. It was just one human being here talking to several other human beings in the hopes that you would stand on your principles, stand on your foundation, and not allow anyone to remove you from that. Whatever you believe, ladies and gentlemen, it's yours. Whatever your hopes and your dreams are in your life, it's yours. Reach for them, put some feet on it, and run. Hit the ground running, and try your very best, your level best, to achieve all of the greatness that you possibly can for you. No one has a right to take that away from you. No one, no entity, no person, no company, no corporation, no loved one, no one has a right to take or steal your joy. It's yours. Own it. Now, this might sound a little redundant. I'm going to say it again. It's yours. Be happy. Be happy. And I know that this might be the best thing to say right now. I think that individual that I spoke of or alluded to earlier in a relationship, and you may have seen something similar in a relationship of your own, they are miserable today. They think that they have been doing the right thing or had been doing the right thing. They're actually miserable. And you'll find people like this in your life if you haven't already. They don't know, they don't know how to say I'm sorry. They don't know how to come back and undo what they've done wrong. They don't know how to repair that breach that they set between you and them. All I can say to you is this: sometimes it's best to move on and just simply take it as a lesson well learned. Don't hold any animosity, because that negative energy is going to keep you from achieving your best. Forgive that individual or those people, whatever the case is, and move on. Simply move on. And as I said before, it's hard, but it's not impossible. And you know what? They're going to stand in the shadows, see you at a distance, and see you succeed. And that's going to be their buffering. That's going to be their point of awakening. All of the things that I did to them, to you. I see that they're doing better now, and I was wrong. And as I said, they're not going to apologize. Very, very rarely do you hear about someone apologizing or see them apologize. You know why? The guilt is tearing them up. For them to apologize a lot of times is to say that they are imperfect. Aren't we all? For them to apologize is to say that you were right. And ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times we are right. But we don't have to wear a banner, carry a flag saying that we are. It just simply is what it is. And before I close, don't forget what I said earlier. Sometimes we are looking for perfect situations with imperfect people. That was it. And that was all. You have a blessed day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. This is Brother Teacher. So long.